Welcome to Haircut and the Beard. My name is Vader, aka Haircut, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob the Beard Brown. Rob.
What's going on?
How are you, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I wanted to clarify. Any fecal matter in your beard?
Yeah, I want to make it very clear there's not. I feel that there's been an article that's brought to light some rather disturbing facts about men with beards. I just want to make it clear they only tested homeless people, and in a normal human's beard, you're not going to find any fecal matter. Just for the record, throwing it out there.
Would you be willing to have your beard tested?
I am. I'm more than willing. Yep.
We'll be back next week with the results on that. I'd like to thank a special guest joining us on the program today, the girl.
You'd like to thank me already?
Yeah.
Just
bye.
for being here.
Thanks for coming on. This is your 8th time.
You want to test my beard as well?
No. We know what that contains.
Oh, God.
That was a bad way to start. I'm sorry.
Off to a flying start.
If this is your first time listening to the show, we like to talk about movies and pop culture and TV shows.
And fecal matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
We start off with some news and then we follow on with the feature of the episode, which is the name of this episode.
Yep.
Today, the Beard's going to take us through an IMDB Vortex, which is going to be pretty fun. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be pitching just a couple of original movie ideas.
Yep.
After that, we're all going to give our opinion on what the best movie twist ever was. It was a question posed to us.
It's a tough one.
And right at the end, we'll finish off with a few rounds of the IMDB rating game, so stay tuned for that at the end.
Can't wait.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at HaircutBeard and let us know your feedback and maybe ask us a question for the next episode. And if you enjoy the episode, make sure you give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Also, I want to give a really big shout out to our friends Tim and Carson from the I Heard That Was Good podcast.
Hey, I heard that was a good podcast.
Yes, you're correct. There's many jokes that we could do there. These guys are hard-out movie nerds, and they love to talk about movies and pop culture and same stuff that we do. So if there's any Haircut and the Beard listeners that love hearing about movies, which I hope there is, definitely check out the I Heard That Was Good podcast as well.
Yeah, for more great movie chat and jokes, and they're pretty knowledgeable about their pop culture stuff too.
Very good. And they're well and truly established. They're like into episode 120 something. I don't know how they get through that much content.
We have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, we're episode 8 now, and
God, we're exhausted.
Yeah, this is the final run. No, not really. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, to giving us a shout out on their show as well, and definitely check them out.
So today we're going to be talking about the real-time found-ish footage horror film, Unfriended, also known as Cybernatural, also known as Paranormal Connectivity, also known as The Exorcism of Emily Rose's Laptop. Also known as...
Emily Rose's laptop?
I was a bit proud of that one. And also known as The Blair Glitch Project.
Oh, good one.
So just to clarify for the listeners, what are we actually talking about?
We're going to be talking about Unfriended, which is also known as Cybernatural in other countries, apparently. But first, let's do some news.
So this week in news, Ricky Gervais has secured funding for a David Brent film.
Wow.
Essentially The Office on
Yeah.
the big screen. What do you reckon?
Is anyone else going to come back? Do you know?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I feel like it could be like, you know how he did a couple of music videos?
Yeah.
It could be kind of like an actual movie where he plays someone.
Wow.
Maybe.
You know what? I love David Brent. He's one of my favourite characters.
Yeah,
like, he's just phenomenal. I really hope that they at least have cameos of some of the other people, because I love that whole
I mean, what are they doing
universe,
now,
you know?
though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
They've got time.
Yeah.
They got time.
Well, no, but the main guy from The Office is in like fucking everything at the moment. Like
That's
He's not really a free man.
yeah. Oh, brilliant.
He might not have the time, but the others certainly will.
Yeah, true.
There's also going to be a Human Centipede 3.
Oh, gross.
So I watched the trailer of this.
Oh, God.
Fuck, looks awful, dude.
It's set in prison, yeah?
Yeah, set in prison, but they actually want to... They call it the final sequence because they actually want to make 100 legs on the
It's
Human
just
Centipede.
disgusting.
I sat through the first one. I heard that the second one, they've got like 8 or 10 or something like that, or... I couldn't do it.
They're definitely going for that Sharknado audience.
Yeah.
So bad it's good.
Oh, God, it's just such a horrible concept.
Yeah, I don't know how you can make the same thing 3 times. Once is enough.
Apparently they're doing this thing where they're doing this thing where in the first film exists in this universe as a film. So in the second one, they've seen a movie and they're like, "Oh, I reckon I could do that." So it's this really meta, weird thing where one of them's a movie and then the other one's a movie about a universe that the movie exists, and it's just confusing and stupid. But
so kind of like Marvel.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Supergirl TV series. Have you seen the promo?
No,
There's like a 6-minute plus promo on it. Did you check it out?
That's long.
I did. I checked out about a minute of it and thought, it looks okay.
Yeah. It looks okay. Like, looks good for NBC good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be dirty, gritty like Breaking Bad or like Better Call Saul or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit sugary.
Yeah, but it still might be cool.
Is she Marvel or DC?
She's DC.
DC, okay. Because Marvel's doing really good the way that they're combining all of their movies with their TV shows, and it all ties in. They all have references, and they've all got crossovers. Like, I think they're doing really good, and I think DC's kind of playing catch-up at the moment. But
they definitely are. You mentioned that in a previous podcast as well.
Yeah.
The guys from Lonely Island are making a movie with Judd Apatow.
I like him.
Apatow?
Apatows.
Apatow? Apatui? What's the Lost Island? I don't know what that is.
No, the Lonely Island.
A Lonely Island, that one.
With Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg and the other two.
And Co.
I feel like this is an in-joke that I'm not in. I honestly don't know what that is.
You don't know who they are?
No.
Dick in a Box.
Dick in a Box.
You know the guys that did Jizzed in My Pants?
Oh, that I know, yep. I know that one, yep.
They're very classy, apparently.
The movie's called Tops.
I Just Had Sex is another one of theirs.
Yeah, that's
I've heard of that one as well. Okay.
It's called Top Secret Untitled Lonely Island Movie.
Okay. I'd watch that. I like those guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Officially started filming the other day. Rumours of a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover movie are circulating. And get this, one of the directors of 22 Jump Street said, "We only do things that seem like they're going to be terrible."
I like the honesty.
That's that's very true. Because when you think of a sequel to a remake of a film, like it sounds like it should be crap,
and just
but
throwing
it's
Men in Black in there as well. I mean, that's bizarro.
So, how do you reckon this is going to play out? Do you think it's going to be them, the 22 Jump Street guys, going to undercover with the Men in Black, or do you think, like, how's that going to work?
Yeah, hard to say. I think the Men in Black will probably have to go to some high school undercover.
Yeah.
Where the other guys are also undercover, and they have to, like, find an alien drug dealer or some shit.
There's going to be some aliens involved.
There's no version of this film that I will not watch, honestly. Even if none of the original cast from either films are in it, I'm still going to check that out.
What about video game news?
So the first thing I'm going to talk about in video game news is, remember that Greek financial minister that we talked about that came from Valve?
Yeah, how could we forget?
Yeah, the guy's fired. He's gone already.
He's run out of steam.
2 weeks.
Oh, that was good.
Thank
that
you.
was good. Apparently, he was trying to do all these things that were way too risky, and they're just like, "Nah, you're out."
It's because he's used to working with games where nothing matters.
I like to think that he was trying to institute like a Candy Crush model to like the Greece's like finances.
See if we can get people addicted to paying taxes. That's how we can get out of it.
Or it's like you've got a limit of like 5 things you can do in a day, and if you want to do like a 6th thing, you've got to pay a certain amount of money to continue.
You've got to earn some tokens.
Yeah, microtransactions on your life, you know. Sounds brilliant. Awesome, but good for him, you know.
Oh, he tried.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this got me genuinely nerd excited. Okay, so
what was it?
Have you guys heard of this thing called the Oculus Rift?
Yeah.
So it's basically a VR headset. You put it on, you're in virtual reality. Virtual reality was like big in the 90s, and it's making a big comeback. So they're going to have these places that are going to be like theme parks where you put on this Oculus Rift style VR headset, and you can run around. Now, think of it as a space like paintball where it'll have like a real space that you can walk around in. It'll have like, you know, big objects and everything like that. But when you put on the VR glasses...
it adds whole different elements to it.
Exactly. And in the example that I saw, they had this, like there was this guy running around, and of course they're shooting aliens and stuff. But he's running around and there's a giant sphere. That's just a big circular block of something that's in the real world. But then in his world, it's this giant test tube with a big alien like hybrid thing inside it, and it just looks phenomenal.
It sounds cool.
Like, I'd go there.
Yeah, and like they have this space, but then you could overlay this space with anything you want. So it could be fucking Barbie's dream house, or it could be space aliens, it could be whatever you want it to be.
Could it be Barbie's dream house?
It could be. I'm not sure if you just heard, but it could be. Putting the foot down on that one.
Like that was your first go-to.
When you first mentioned it, though, you said you put on these headsets and run around. I thought, oh my god, just injuries straight away. Like people are going to be running into walls.
But it'd
then
be really strange because the slightest bit of lag, and you'd be like, because if you're moving forward at this distance and there's a slightest bit of lag, that the wall would be coming at you at a different speed.
True. Can you imagine doing that online and like, oh,
it'd be horrendous. I have one last thing, and the only reason I want to bring this up is because I mentioned this on an IMDB forum recently, and within about an hour there was like 600 people just telling me I'm a horrible person. I should kill myself, basically.
Go on.
But I think it's interesting. So
that ties in really well with our feature.
Yeah, it does actually. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're doing big things. They're, regardless of whether you guys are a fan of their most recent film, they're making a shitload of money and they're making a shitload of films. So Marvel obviously has the rights to some of their characters to make films.
Yeah.
Some of their characters, they don't have the rights to do it. Sony owns some of them, and we know that, with the whole Spider-Man thing recently, blah, blah, blah. Apparently in the comics, they're now downplaying the characters they don't own the cinematic rights to. Because they're like, fuck those characters. Someone else owns the rights to them. We'll just focus on the characters that we really
can't
care
make
about.
a movie from them, so fuck using them in the comic books.
Exactly. So shady. Now, this is a theory, not a fact, but these are some of the things they've done. They're killing Deadpool. They've already killed Wolverine. Wolverine's huge. I mean, he'll probably come back.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed he'll come back, but still, he's not alive right now. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who were most recently seen in the most recent Marvel film, they're actually Magneto's children from X-Men. But because they don't own the rights to that, they're not anymore. They're now Inhumans, not mutants, where they have been in the past mutants.
Right, yep.
X-Men are spun off into a different universe or something, because once again, they don't own the rights. And the Fantastic Four totally disbanded. So basically, they're downplaying all of that. Is that horrible? Is that shady? Is that shit?
I mean, it's not like when they make a movie, they're going to, the rights holders to Magneto are going to really care if he's, they're still going to bring out these characters regardless of whether they're dead in a comic book or not. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
True. But I mean,
they're not going to be true to the comic book, but who cares about that?
They're still downplaying, characters that they... they're focusing more on the characters that they're doing the rights to. Yeah. For me, it's a big deal purely because I think it's a perfect example of business getting in the way of art and creativity. And that's in my eyes a bad thing.
Well, business creating
and
more
law.
Art.
Yeah,
true. But I don't know. I just see it as being very shady. I think it's not a cool thing. I mean, I think it's a bit shit.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
That's pretty much it for news this week, guys. Let's have a talk about our next film. Awesome.
This week we're talking about Unfriended, written by Nelson Greaves and directed by Leo Gabriazzi.
Round of applause for getting that right, by the way.
Good work.
You're getting much better.
Someone's going to come back and say, it's Gabriadze.
Is it though?
These guys are both relatively unknown. And it was produced on a relatively small $1 million budget. Which
is tiny for
a huge film like this.
Yeah.
Not a huge film, but it's certainly made its money back and, it's been fairly successful.
Yeah.
I know in
Do you
Australia.
know how much it brought in?
It's hard to say because it's still early days, but I think it was like something like 30 million US first weekend. So
good
it's
return
well
on investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first kind of major film that uses the screencast or the screenwatch format. What do you think about this film, man?
You know what? I saw it in a drive-in. I feel that needs to be mentioned.
Scary.
There was a moment where early on in the film, I was the only one in the car. Other people were going to get snacks. And I was legitimately scared.
Yeah.
I thought I would hate this film. I thought I would be ragging on it so bad. The concept, I thought was like, a bit crap. And I was legitimately scared. I don't know if that was just because I was in a car by myself and it was dark and all that kind of stuff. But it got me a couple of times.
Yeah.
I must admit.
What do you think about the screenwatch format?
You know what? I really like it. One thing I jotted down, I found the fact that they managed to keep a classic horror film pacing throughout the whole film, while it was just watching a single screen was good.
That was really impressive.
Yeah. It would have been really hard to
plan it out.
Yeah, and actually build tension and things like that when you're just purely looking at a screen. But I feel they managed that well.
Leo did a good job, you reckon?
Yeah, Leo. Yeah, Leo. What was his last name again?
Gabriadze.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. But I thought that was really, really good. I mean, it definitely followed a lot of the same tropes of the the more modern classic found footage horror film kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where, you know, a lot of films these days have... It's scary just when someone stands there dead still with a blank expression on their face.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
and the phone kind of moves past it in this film.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally missed that. When I went and saw it, I didn't see the phone at all.
Hold on, sorry. The fact that the phone was vibrating.
The first one who got knocked off.
Yeah, because they made it look like it was it glitched out in a frozen screen, but the fact that the phone was moving.
That was
like,
really creepy.
I totally missed that because I was looking at her eyes. I was like, is she going to blink? Is she going to blink?
Yeah.
And apparently there was a phone that was going across the screen.
So let's do a very quick recap of just the story. So basically it's a bunch of friends that are on Skype having a chat with each other. About a year ago, one of their friends-ish has killed themselves, and their Facebook page basically starts chatting with them and messaging them. At the same time, a random glitch basically shows up and starts talking to them through Skype. Yeah. First question. I'm old now. Obviously, after watching this film, I feel way older. Does anyone actually socialise with their friends like this? Is this a thing? Is that real?
Hard to say, man.
Well,
I think even you guys are too old for the question that I'm asking. You guys are pretty young.
This is meant to be teens. We're not teens anymore, so I don't ever do group chat via Skype.
Yeah, and I feel
was
like
one thing that wasn't relatable there.
They're all like quite good friends. Like, go around to their house and have a chat. You know?
Yeah,
I guess during a weekday, you got to get your studies done. You may as well just have a chat while you're working on something else. Like, I guess it's plausible that this happens. I don't do it myself. But.
Yeah. One thing that did make me laugh, it's like, all right, guys, we've all got to go offline. They don't turn the computers off, and they pick up their cell phones.
Yeah.
The cell phones, I sound so old. They pick up their mobile phones, and they're
Put
like,
yourself on mute.
We're offline. You know, like, turn off the fucking computer.
They were very attached to technology.
Yeah.
The characters are pretty spoiled. There's nothing particularly interesting about them. For me, most of the merit of this film goes to the interesting format and the fact that they kept it scary throughout. I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but you can't really have some monster stabbing people anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You need to have something else to bring in the audience, and so it kind of did that pretty well.
I definitely agree with that. Once it sort of went down the path of like people are dying and stuff, it got a bit tired because you were just waiting for people to
for the next one to get killed. Yeah.
And the actual deaths themselves, like the whole blender thing, which I wanted to bring up, that was pretty fucking gruesome.
Yeah.
But it didn't really... I found the rest of the film was quite tense, and I don't know how they could have handled this better, but when people started dying, it lost a bit of that tension for me.
Yeah, okay.
I think because you just were able to realise, they're all just going to get killed off.
Exactly.
And it's not going to be entirely clear what's happening because it's going to cut out and come back in. They're going to be dead.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, they're all dying. So it loses that element of mystery of how this ghost is actually going to get revenge.
Agreed, yeah.
But I thought the bit where Ken, the sort of fat nerd guy...
Yeah.
Where another window popped up. Oh, it was the glitch window. Where it showed something through a lattice. And then when he stood up, they realised it was in the room that he was in. That really got me.
Yeah, and then he just sort of paused, just stopped there. And they're like, Ken, what are you doing?
It's like, what is he seeing?
Yeah.
I like how, there were things that weren't revealed. That makes things a lot creepier than actually seeing what he was looking at.
Well, the classic Blair Witch approach where not showing the monster, not showing what's actually happening is the scariest part of the film. I agree.
Way scarier.
One thing I found entirely that this kind of I thought was horrible. They are all horribly shit people.
But that's why they needed to die.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think scary movies get away with killing people off in gruesome ways if you think that they deserve it.
Yeah, and these guys deserved it. They were all...
I don't think they deserve to die.
No. I would kill
I think they needed to be punished in some way.
Yeah, no, I think that they were all... Like, I can't imagine a group of anyone. I actually posed this once again on IMDb. If you were to be in the same position where you were forced to be telling your worst secrets about your friends, would you have anything that even got close to as bad as
What were the responses?
One guy said something about killing some of the guy's son. I don't think he was telling the truth. But
I hope not.
Yes, I certainly hope not as well.
Dude,
but
shit just got dark.
Yeah, no, there was some really funny ones. But none of them, everyone's like, I totally agree. These people are fucking.
Would these characters have really admitted it on the internet forum?
Well,
Maybe.
that's it. I actually said in the post, I'm like, you don't have to say what it is specifically, but would you have something as bad as this? And most people are like, no.
No, good.
Yeah. Would you guys?
Yeah, definitely. But nothing I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Because it's mostly about you.
Awesome. I did find the whole game of what was it called? Have you ever? Or what?
Oh yeah. Have you ever?
I did find that kind of cool. Like
Never have I ever.
never have I
that's
ever.
it.
Yeah, with the like the slow reveal of how horrible these people actually were.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, that was clever. The way that they turned against each other
yeah.
by what they were forced to say.
I agree. I thought that was really, really good.
I think the like initial kind of dialogue in the film was relatively clever and interesting, but towards the end, once people started dying, the characters were just totally mundane.
Yeah, very cliche.
bland.
Yeah.
I think.
And one thing I struggled with is I was unclear as to whose computer we were watching.
Blair,
the girl.
Yeah, I worked that out, but that's who I thought it was. And then there was something that happened that made me think that it wasn't her. One bit that I actually found really, really, this bit actually got to me. This is the bit when people were outside of the car that I'm like, I was all by myself and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
The bit where they're like, oh, just go on her Facebook page, the dead girl's Facebook page.
Yeah.
And
Mark is deceased.
Mark is
Memorialise?
deceased. Yeah, memorialise is
Yeah.
the term they used. I didn't know that was a thing, but whatever. And they go in there and trying to fill in the form and all this kind of stuff, and it just won't work. And then it comes back and the whole form is just filled in with "I know what you did" or something like that.
It was like, I got her. Because that's what you find out she says right at the end in the video.
Yeah. It was very, very clever.
Yeah. clever.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. That's cool.
Last thing I wanted to bring up.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
PS.
The other thing I wanted to bring up, the actual video that caused all the trouble, the video of her just passed out drunk and, the horrible video.
Yeah, the shaming video.
The shaming video, yeah. Did you guys notice when they actually showed her face, she did this really creepy horror movie,
Yeah, she was like, shush, as in, don't tell anyone.
Because it looked really creepy to me, and I thought that there was something to that.
No, I think she was just drunk.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she was just like, she trusted the girl because, apparently they know each other. So she was like, shh, don't tell anyone.
Okay, I read into that, I thought that there was something way...
Haircut and I disagreed about something in that shaming video as well, but I think I was wrong. I thought that she had her period, and he said it was poop.
I thought... my initial thought was she got raped. But I don't think... I think it was her period. I'm sure that there was a mention of...
Dude, it was poop, I'm telling you.
I don't
Because
think
I googled it. I googled Laura suicide unfriended poop, and it came up.
I
you
googled
really?
Yes.
unfriended period, and I didn't find anything because I realised how stupid it was to be searching for that. But
Unfriended period. My period is not my friend anymore. No shit. So it was poop. Because my initial thought was she got raped, and that was what caused the blood to be there. But
I did. That thought did cross my mind too.
Yeah.
But then that's pretty cruel to film someone who's been raped.
yeah, or to
Either
in
way,
general.
it's not as cruel, but still pretty fucked up to film someone that shit themselves or had their period. But I didn't think it was.
I think whatever the case, something coming out of your body and you're wearing white shorts and then that ends up on the internet. That doesn't look good.
Who wears white shorts when they're on their period?
Yeah, okay.
Not me.
No, but the whole thing about when you're a girl, sometimes your period just comes out of nowhere and you're not ready for it.
Okay.
And so, I don't know.
Yep.
Down
the rabbit hole now, guys. Last thing.
I've got a few more things to say about it.
Last thing that I've got to say.
Oh, sure.
The bit where there was a girl choking, one of the girls cops it, and she's been basically choked on a hair straightener.
Yes, good
I didn't
work.
think that was a hair straightener.
I thought that was a dildo?
Very clearly thought that was a dildo. It looked just like a dildo.
Yeah,
How many dildos do you own?
Similar shape.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
One for every orifice, basically.
Are they interchangeable?
Hygienic.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. They can wherever they want to go there.
Yeah.
No, it was a hair straightener because she was first straightening her hair when we very first see her on Skype.
Right.
And then,
Sure.
and then it ends up choking.
By the way, the Skype call sound is now horrifically burnt into my mind.
Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
so loud in the cinema that we saw it in.
Oh, really?
That
Yeah.
Skype ringing sound. It
Yeah.
was deafening.
What else did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny. It used the way it integrated playing music was really clever.
Yeah. The songs were all very appropriate to what was happening at that time.
Sending
Yeah.
messages through song like "I hurt too" and
Yeah.
"You lie, you lie."
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. And
I thought it was, that was kind of clever.
when the adult webcam ad popped up at one point, it had footage of Blair at the start of the movie when she was stripping for her boyfriend.
That was very clever.
That's really funny.
I actually didn't catch that, and someone pointed it out to me. I'm like, oh, it is too. My God, well done.
It was quite cleverly put together. And just the way all the different social media was integrated and different apps.
It was a big ad for Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that. To the Modern Family episode.
I was just going to say that,
I thought that was well done. I like the fact that they were... You had to really pay attention where they're having two people are having a conversation while someone's messaging someone else and saying, you believe they're saying this, or, something like that, where it'll... how appropriate. But how it all sort of... just the way people use technology these days and the fact that they're Googling things while they're having a conversation about something. It rang true, at least in that context, that sometimes I'll be on the phone and while we're having a conversation, I'll be like, that's interesting, I'm going to Google that. And it felt... real in that context.
I think it built suspense in a clever way by taking things that we all
interact with on a daily basis.
Yes, but not interact with, but just observe on a daily basis. And then making them creepy. So when you're chatting with someone and you see the little dots as they're typing, that's usually don't give a second thought to that. But in this movie, when you're like, oh my God, that's a dead person, how is that coming through? It just, it was creepy.
And it kind of was a good way of kind of narrating the film without actually having a narrator, where they'd type something and then delete it and then type something else that was a nicer way of putting it. I thought that was very clever.
Very true to life too.
Yeah.
How many friends out of 10?
I actually like this way more than I thought I would. For a horror film with that budget, I'd probably give it 7 Facebook friends out of 10. Yeah.
Not bad.
6, 5, 7, somewhere in that kind of ballpark.
That's pretty good. I'm generally not a fan of scary movies.
Yeah.
I just get too scared and I think about it too much and I can't go to bed at night. But I enjoyed this one. We saw it in a really empty cinema and I was actually scared quite a bit.
Yeah.
There was someone who went to see the movie alone in our cinema, and halfway through, when things were getting scary, she got up and walked over to another group and was like, "Can I sit with you guys?"
That's adorable.
So cute.
She was literally unfriended.
But then she was friended.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
refriended.
Refriended. So, okay.
Sequel.
Jesus.
I'll give this one, 7 friends.
7 friends.
Yeah.
I'll give it, I'll give it 6 and a Twitter follower.
Well done. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Let's move on.
So you know how sometimes you'll be on IMDb and you'll look at a movie and it's kind of a good movie, so you look at the writer and see what else he's done. And then you'll like one of the actors and you'll go and see what else they've done. And before you know it, you're 15 movies in and you're looking at the original Italian Job with Michael Caine.
You're 10 years older. Your life's passed you by.
Yeah.
That ever happened to you?
Without a doubt. I actually went through a huge rabbit hole recently. I started reading about a really, really interesting story about Edward Norton and a lot of problems that he's had on set.
Take us along for the journey.
So, I started looking into American History X, which has an amazing, really, really interesting story behind it, if you've ever got some time to do some reading on it. So, the film American History X, that was written and directed by a really interesting guy called Tony Kaye.
Right.
That was an awesome film. I think most people would agree. Do you know what his follow-up film was to that?
Tony Kaye. Not off the top of my head.
You know why? Because he actually didn't have one.
Whoa.
No.
The reason being, Edward Norton fought him for the rights.
To American History X?
Yeah, to actually have final cut on that film and toned it down.
Oh, wow.
That is the toned down version. Can we just accept that for a second?
Wow.
I want the original Tony Kaye director's cut.
I agree.
The toned up version.
Yeah. I like that. He actually went on this, he lost his plot after that and never made another film.
Yeah.
He ended up going to a shoot of his next film dressed as Osama bin Laden on September the 12th, 2001.
Dude, that's one day.
What?
That's the day after September 11th he was dressed as Osama bin Laden. So obviously he just went on a spiral and lost his shit. So next I went on to Edward Norton's follow-up film, which is...
Fight Club?
Definitely.
Fight Club. Damn right. Obviously his imaginary friend in that one is Brad Pitt.
Yep.
Who's also awesome. Brad Pitt later appeared in a film by the Coen brothers, the awesome Coen brothers, which is Burn After Reading. Huge ensemble cast. Really, really cool film. I really like it.
Huge film, that one.
Yeah, really, really cool. And the Coen brothers are absolutely awesome. I didn't realise this, but the cinematographer of that film is a guy called Emmanuel Lubezki. I'm not sure if I got that correct, but he's really famous for doing these single scenes where the camera doesn't take and they're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
If I was to say to you, name another film that has a really standout single take shot in it, what would you guess?
Children of Men?
Dead right. The tank scene in that, absolutely phenomenal. One of my favourite single scenes.
So that's the fourth movie, right?
Yeah, we're up to the fourth. So he also did Children of Men. He did Gravity. He did Birdman. Birdman.
That was going to be my idea.
Was it?
Yeah, I was going to suggest.
And he's like, I didn't realise, but all of those scenes I love, I only found out not that long ago, all done by the same guy.
No wonder you love him.
Same guy.
Same style.
Really cool dude. So Children of Men has that, obviously, the amazing tank scene. Goes for about 15 or 20 minutes. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
The father in that has a really untimely, really sad death. Do you remember who played the father in that?
Not off the top of my head.
It was Michael Caine.
Hey,
we're back around.
Michael Caine, yep.
So his probably breakout movie, the first one that everyone knows him for, what would you say that would be?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, The Italian Job.
The Italian
That's
Job.
the one. So that's movie 5, right?
It is. Such an amazing film, and it's one of those films like a lot of the younger people don't know that The Italian Job was a remake and it should never have been remade. But
yeah.
So now we go on to 2003. So guess who was involved in a 7-year contractual dispute that eventually forced them to be in the Italian Job remake?
Mark Wahlberg?
No. Bringing it all back around, it was actually Edward Norton. After a 7-year dispute.
He loves disputes.
He really does.
He loves to fight.
Another really interesting story about this, his first film, which was Primal Fear, he actually signed on to a 3-contract deal with whoever, the studio for that film.
Yeah.
And then just for 7 years refused to do any other films. Went off and did all these other amazing films that he did. And they're like, you've got to come back and do this film. And eventually they said, no, the choice isn't yours anymore. They couldn't agree on a film. The choice isn't yours anymore. You have to do this.
Cop that.
Yeah. So guys, that's my IMDB Vortex.
A vortex of 6 beautifully
connected films.
Thanks for
and I
finishing that
managed
one.
to do it through not a single film that I don't like as well. I was quite proud of that.
Very good, yeah.
Beautiful. Let's move
6
on.
degrees of film separation.
Yep.
So you guys know how I'm an avid writer.
Avid?
Writer?
Yes, despite your condescending tones. I am an avid writer, and I have come up with a couple of, if I do say so myself, genius pitches.
Oh, this will be good. This will be good.
That's a big
They're
call.
pretty good, and I think these ones you'll actually like, and you'll greenlight them all straight away.
I must say, you came back from writing one of these, and you just look so chuffed with yourself.
Yeah, he was patting himself all over the back.
Sorry,
I don't know where that came from.
patting himself all over the. So it's about this first one. It's about a writer who gets like a really cool pen from an antique store, and at first it helps him write like really cool, gruesome horror films.
Okay.
But then after a while, it starts to compel the writer to actually carry out those murders with the pen.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. So he's carrying out the murders that he's then written down?
So he writes about them and then he enacts them.
Yeah.
And it might start out that he doesn't realise he's doing it. Like, he'll just wake up with a bloody pen on his pillow and he'll be like, what happened? Newsflash, some guy was stabbed 24 times in the chest with a pen.
And then does he realise that he's been writing in blood the whole time?
Oh my god.
Ultra twist, brilliant. What do you guys think? Greenlit?
I'm pretty
Instant.
confident that there's a Dean Koontz book that has almost exactly what you just said in it.
It does sound like a story I've heard before.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
You know what?
Mate, you're a bit of a coont.
A bit of a... Oh, hold on. That's very racist.
Coont! Jesus Christ.
I feel like the store where the guy's going to buy the pen from would have the guy from... what was it?
Gremlins.
From Gremlins. Like, you know, the Asian guy with a really long beard and he's always, like, stroking it and it's like...
Yeah, definitely. And he puts a curse on it, probably, like, because the guy pays, like, the writer pays in nickels.
Yeah.
Or pennies, worse.
Yeah.
And the store owner's like, fuck you, dude. and puts a curse on it.
I feel it's going to be one of those shops where everything in the store's cursed, so no matter what you get, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we'll give you this pen. It's fine, but they always have some stupid thing where it's like, you write the greatest story ever told, but then you have to live it, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I would watch that film. I hate
got
giving
a good
compliments.
line.
I hate it, but
I got a good line for it. The store owner can say, "You'll write stories that'll change your life."
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's the tagline. What's the title on that one?
Don't have a title.
Pen of the Damned.
No. The Cursed Pen.
Yeah, that's gold. Yeah, I can see that on the movie poster already. Brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, next one. You got a pun?
No.
That's surprising.
I'm all out.
The queen of puns is out of puns.
Yeah. It's a sad day.
Incorporated.
Inc-operated. That's brilliant.
Inc-operated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that could work. So, next movie. Just before the death of John's mum, he notices a blister form on his face.
Ew.
The same thing happens just before the tragic death of his son. So when John wakes up and notices 2 more blisters formed on his face, he tries to prevent what he thinks will be the death of his wife and daughter.
Oh.
You're in a really dark place at the
Yeah.
moment because all these stories are pretty scary.
Are you okay, haircut?
I was inspired by horror films.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of
I
a...
feel like that's a bit of a...
He gets these... It's like premonition blisters.
Yeah.
That's the name of the film.
The premonition blister.
Yeah.
What's the film where the guy like always has the flash forward and sees like some gruesome...
Next.
No.
That's Nicolas Cage, Next.
Yeah,
Man.
I know that Next is a film, but
Dude, that's a great
what
film.
I'm trying to say.
It's one of the best, man.
The one where they see like the really crazy deaths of everyone. Like the first one's like a plane crash.
You're talking about Final Destination.
It sounds very Final Destination-ish. So
We didn't even practice that.
He wakes up with a blister and he's like,
So that's greenlit too.
Fuck, my kids are dead.
So I'm going to have 3
Well, not
greenlit
quite.
movies.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Confidence.
Because you know how they've got Ant-Man, they've got Superman, they've got Spider-Man.
They've got Crocs.
Now comes Cartilage Man.
Okay, yep.
His bendy and flexible bones get him in and out of places with ease.
So he's the guy from Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, but he's got...
I got a good tagline for this one too. No, it's just his bones are made from cartilage.
Okay.
So he can like flop about everywhere.
So he's
Flippy,
less
floppy.
flexible than Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, he's less so, yeah. But it's not supernatural. It's a real...
Okay, yep.
I got a good tagline.
Hit us.
I bet you do.
He's got a bendy advantage.
Oh, God. So let's just discuss this for a second. I think we need to drill down a little bit here.
His bones are entirely made out of the stuff that's in your ear.
I get
Connective
the concept.
tissue.
The concept isn't the bit I'm not understanding. Well, what does he do? How does this help him be a superhero to an extent?
He's able to kind of... He's able to get into...
Okay. Let's back it up a second. All right, someone's robbing a bank.
Yep.
They're robbing a bank, and he's like, I'm going to stop you. He runs in there, and he's like, I'm Cartilage Man.
I can just imagine him, like, because he can't stand up, because he's got no bones, he's just, like, flopping about.
He's just not a
failing.
scary, you know. Oh.
He's not scary.
He's not intimidating.
He's not intimidating. No, but he's just silly, because he's flopping him, like,
So
his
he's
legs.
sort of a comic distraction.
He distracts you while the real superheroes show up.
Yeah.
So what would
he's just a filler.
What would his like? Because you know they've always got like their alter ego. You know, your Tony Stark, your Iron Man, your Superman, your Clark Kent. What would his like normal everyday? Because it's got to be a job, a human that can like you know survive. Just as
I was thinking like a scuba
uniform.
diver, because he's in like an exoskeleton suit. Because he can't swim. Like,
So he has no way of supporting his own body. So he has to wear a suit to keep him in upright form.
All right, maybe that one we will leave.
You know
not a
you're
fan.
fucked when even Aquaman's looking at this guy in his scuba suit and laughing at him. You know what? For the pictures that we used to, you got a solid 2 out of 3. Those first two, I can feel a movie in there.
You know what? I think horror films is my genre.
I think it might be.
I'm going to come back with a couple more.
Superhero films, not so much. But imagine how many piercings you could put onto Cartilage Man.
No shit.
Yeah. He'd have a pierced, spine.
Leg. Yeah, spine, just straight through.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I think we should move on. That was fun.
So a question was posed to us over the last week in relation to what we thought the best movie twist was in a film. And so we thought we'd answer it. If you have a question that you'd like to ask us about this, please send us a tweet at haircutbeard or an email at haircutinthebeard@gmail.com. That's all spelt out. Yep. So the question was, what is your favourite, or what do you think is the best movie twist ever?
Really tough one.
Take it away, Beard. Tell us yours.
So mine, as you can probably tell, because it's been mentioned 12 times so far, one of my favourite films ever is Fight Club.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
No way.
I love it. I love the director. I love all of the actors, and it's written by one of my favourite authors, Chuck Palahniuk. So it's like a trifecta of Robbie awesomeness.
You want to marry Fight Club?
I kind of do. A little bit, yeah. It'd be a really weird wedding, wouldn't it? So the reason why I think this twist is awesome, first, it's telegraphed through the whole film. So you can see hints of it the whole way through. There's the subliminal messaging that he throws in there. The fact that even before he's actually Tyler's actually appeared in the film, he actually shows up multiple times, just in these little subliminal ways. And and the fact that when the twist comes, it recontextualizes the whole film. So the kind of thing you can watch it multiple times, and you're like, shit, they were telling me, they were hinting at it the whole time.
I think that's the recipe for a great twist, is something that means you can watch it again and realise how it all fits together.
Yeah, and I think knowing the films that we've all done, I think all 3 films that we've done, definitely that happens. It totally changes. And when you watch it again, you're like, oh shit, I didn't pick that up. And really, really cool. One thing about this one, the reason why this twist was so important to me is because I was actually spoiled. Someone told me what the twist was before I watched this film.
Oh, Rex.
Which is fucked.
What a dickhead.
I know. I still hate this guy. But I still watched it. Still, when I got to that moment, I was still taken aback. It still hit me, which I think...
Yeah, that's a good twist.
You
know it's coming and it still gets you.
That's it. I love the flashbacks when they actually show the twist. They flash back and they show how it actually happened. I think that's handled really, really well. And the Dust Brothers score is absolutely a masterpiece. It's just this really slow, constant build up to this moment, and then it just explodes. Really, really cool.
Sorry, can you explain that again?
Sorry,
what's the Dust Brothers?
The Dust Brothers are the guys that did the music. They just do this really weird sort of.
Okay, I didn't realise that. So
yeah, you can actually the Fight Club soundtrack is actually really, really good. It's not there's no singing or anything like that. It's all just really weird music, but it's fucking really cool. Background music. Not the kind of thing you'd play in the car or something like that. But
you can't have a sing-along to it.
Yeah. Really, really good. All of Chuck Palahniuk's books have really good twists in them, but this is without a doubt my favourite. Without a doubt. Yeah. So that's my favourite.
Cool.
What's yours, girl?
I can't give you a rundown as comprehensive as the one you just got, because I picked a movie that I saw a good few years ago when it came out. Mine is Shutter Island.
Good choice.
Thanks. So I'm not going to bore you with a plot summary because it's really quite complicated and I can't remember the exact details, but
he's a mental.
He's
a loop-de-loop.
Twist over, guys. Bye.
No, what really made that a good twist for me was I didn't see it coming, and so it was really impactful, and you really felt for the guy. God, he was in a rough situation.
He really was, yeah.
So I just thought it was really well made, really interesting to analyse. There's a lot of symbolism in that film, a lot of, as with any good twist, going back, you can pick it apart. And
it's layered in that way that you can, if you go back to the start, you can then see, just like in Fight Club, you can see all those elements that are there right from the start. You didn't pick them up, but now that you know this, everything's changed. You can go and rewatch the film, it's a completely different context.
And I love that in a good film.
Yeah, you can just really appreciate it, and it makes you realise how challenging it is to make, a good film. There's so much to it, so much planning, and
because they'd have to walk right up to the line of hints and showing this is the direction we're going. We know, as a filmmaker, we know that this is the twist, so we need to leave these little breadcrumbs to this moment.
But we can't make it too obvious.
Exactly.
But we want people who do work it out to still feel as though they're clever if they did pick it. You know, it's a hard line to walk. But yeah, I thought that was a great movie. And it was hard to pick because there are heaps of good movies with great twists.
There's nothing worse than those people that claim they worked out a twist in a film. Like, you know, those guys are like,
I knew that right from the start.
Yeah.
I knew right from the start. No, you didn't. I don't believe you. I never believe you.
Just knocked my microphone.
I can see.
Haircut's going to have a breakdown, guys. Get around him.
Sorry.
My favourite was Saw.
Yeah.
The original Saw. You know how, like, the
Interesting choice.
Jigsaw, the guy who's, like, coming up with all these gruesome ways of imprisoning people and torturing them. He, you know, it's revealed at the end that he likes to be really close to the event where he's torturing these people. And, of course, in the main scene, or pretty much the only scene in that movie, he's the bloody corpse.
Yeah.
And so after finally the main character, what's that guy's name? The guy from The Princess Bride?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know the guy's name, but that genius actor, he finally saws his own foot off and starts crawling out, and the corpse gets up and goes, "Game over." Yeah, and walks out. That's
so good. Really, I think all three of these films share a really clever and well-constructed reveal. You know, it's all done in a really clever way, I thought.
Yeah, and the fact that it's made by two Melbourne guys, of course, helps out.
Yeah. Go, Melbourne!
Woo!
Yeah. Awesome.
Fantastic.
That's it. Good
Moving on,
guys.
Let's do the twist.
The Jack Rabbit Slim Twist Contest.
If anyone has any questions, by all means, send them in. We'll you know, if they're a good question, we'll do it next week.
Up next, the IMDB game. Girl, take it away.
Hey, it's time to play.
Oh, that was good.
All right, so does everyone remember how this works?
Well, maybe just explain it for our audience.
Yeah.
Just a quick recap. So what we do is I will provide a movie title and possibly a star.
Okay.
A celebrity, I mean. You guys tell me
what the minimum IMDB rating would have to be for us to watch it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
So the first one is When Grandpa Comes to Town.
Okay. An owl just snuck into the recording studio.
And
who's starring? I feel like it's a kind of film that John Candy would do before his demise.
It's actually starring Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I could do that.
Is he the grandpa though?
He is.
I suppose he's old enough. Yeah.
What's the? I mean, is it a family film? Like what?
It's a horror film.
Now I'm in. All right. I was out up until just now.
When Grandpa comes to town.
Whoa, shit.
Holy shit.
That was terrifying.
Grandpa's in the building. I would see that movie if it were rated like... I'm not a big horror fan, so I'd go 7.5 or above.
Yeah. I actually really like horror films when I'm in certain moods, but I've noticed that on IMDb they're generally much lower. So a good horror film is about a 6.6, somewhere around that. I'd watch it at about a 7.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Go Grandpa. Can we just quickly mention what would be his, like, what's the scare here? You know, like, is Grandpa coming to town to kill people? Is he coming to town to save people? Is he the saviour?
No, he's not the saviour. He's what you got to be afraid of.
Oh, okay, like Candyman, but Grandpa Man or something.
Next week, Haircut's pitch. Grandpa Man.
He's the bad guy, so he's the one that everyone is afraid of.
Yeah. Basically,
there's been a lot said about, you know, mysterious, creepy things that have happened when he has been around, but they're children in this family who have never met him, and so he's coming to town, and everyone's freaking out a bit.
There's also children in the family who've been killed by Grandpa, and that's why the grandkids don't want to go and stay with him, because they never come back.
What are the parents doing sending their fucking kids to Grandpa if the kids aren't coming back?
Well, they didn't know at that stage.
I can imagine this movie as
every story starts somewhere.
I can imagine this as a Goosebumps cover.
Yeah.
Grandpa's house. He's offering candy, but it's like toxic waste.
That is not outside of the scope of what a Goosebumps book would be about, though.
Fair call.
Okay, cool.
That was fun.
All right, Grandpa's Coming to Town, written by R.L. Stine.
The next one's called The Sing Song Twins.
The Sing Song Twins.
The Sing Song Twins. And
Okay.
it's starring Jason Schwartzman and Colin Farrell.
Oof.
Oh, Sing Song Twins. Yeah, I'd see that with Colin Farrell. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
He's going to be in True Detective, too.
That's why, he popped into my head.
So, I'd go and see it at a 7.2.
Okay. What are they doing in this? Is it a comic?
It's
a comedy film? Is it a
comedy drama.
a dramedy? Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a thing against...
They're entering a competition.
Okay, to sing?
Yeah, I'm raising my score.
Yeah, so am I.
7.8.
Not a
That's
fan
fair.
of Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman. Not a fan of his. I find him arrogant and annoying. Like, he just has this
Schwartzman.
air to him
He
that
does.
annoys
Yeah,
me.
he definitely
You know?
does.
Like, but he always plays that kind of role in his films,
True.
so it makes it even worse. Yeah, I'd have this would have to be like up in the 8s for me to really give it a crack, I reckon.
Fair call.
Oh, Mr. 007, what's your name? It's Schwartzman.
Schwartzman.
Oh, you're 008? Yes. Jason Schwartzman.
Brilliant. Love it. Yep.
And finally, how high would Cherry on Top have to be rated? And it's starring Harrison Ford and Betty White.
I'm pretty sure I watched a
Cherry
film
on
with that
top.
title last night, actually.
Ew. Don't want to know.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on, who's in it again?
Betty White.
Is
And
she not dead yet?
not yet.
She's seriously not dead.
Dude.
There was an article that was Betty White dies,
Yeah.
but the dies was spelt D-Y-E-S, and then it was about how she dyes her hair.
Oh, that's
great.
That's cruel and hilarious at the same time.
Stupid.
Cherry on top. You know what? Who was it? Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. Okay.
You see, I can see this as one of his attempts to do like a family drama. Kind of like...
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
he leaving the earring in for this one, or is he taking it out? Because
it's got to be 7.8 or above
Yeah.
for me to consider it.
It's about an ice cream parlour that they run together.
I'm out.
Yeah, my score's dropping. I'm interested. Go on.
And so yours, see, we're just getting further apart here. For you, the ice cream parlour thing, you're like, yes, I'm in. I'm like, whoop, I'm out.
Wait, is Harrison Ford running it or is Betty White?
Well, they're running it together.
Oh.
They're both looking for a change of direction, and they sort of
Do they know
cross
each other
paths.
prior to
No, so it's sort of a new venture that
Yeah.
they just
Okay.
kind of...
They're just working it
I
together.
feel shenanigans.
I feel
Oh, there would be
shenanigans.
definitely some shenanigans.
Yeah.
There'd be some, intergenerational age gap jokes, and
They're getting pretty close to the same generation. Just old.
be a bit of flirting, a bit of whipped cream on the nose.
I don't want to watch those two flirt. No. My score is just like they hook up to dead people and it's just like it's just going up and down.
They
like
hook
every
it
time
up
you
to
meet
dead people.
people that are dying. Maybe you're a nurse. You tell me.
If they're dead, it's just...
Beep. Guys,
Have you never
that's
seen a movie?
Yeah, that's not a real machine.
Isn't
I'm here
it?
to bust a myth. That is not a real machine.
Myth busted. Is that okay?
So, what's the rating?
My rating, I have to be like a fucking 8 to 8 or something like that. This has to be like fucking.
I'm going to stick with my original
Don't
score.
worry, it's rated 4. No one has to see it.
7.8.
Hold
All
on,
right.
what? Is it
It's not real.
Oh,
Can
man.
you imagine?
Oh, that would yeah.
That would be
You know
woeful.
what? If I found out that was a real film, I would watch it just to see how this ever happened. Like, I would do epic research to find out how these people agreed to do this film. Yeah, I say we wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
You guys want to wrap it up?
Okay, let's wrap it up.
So this has been Haircut and the Beard. My name is Vader, aka Haircut. I'd like to thank our very special guest on the show. This is her 8th time appearing, the girl. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for that.
Brilliant. And the Beard, as always, my co-host. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Beard.
It was fun, as always.
Excellent.
I can't believe we made it to 8, honestly.
You can write to us at on Twitter at haircutbeard, and or you can send us an email at haircutandthebeard. That's all spelt out at gmail.com.
Please, can I try again?
No!
No, it's done.
Maybe ask us a question so we can answer it on the next episode. Also, if you've enjoyed the episode, we'd love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to answer your questions on the show next time. Thank you very much for joining us.
See ya.
Bye,